What is up, you guys? I hope you guys are having a good start to your week. So far, so good here at the floor. We did have, sorry, you guys can't see my eyes. I look mysterious over here. We had a decent start to the week here. Obviously, not ideal, but given the price action we had today, I'm not too upset with it. We took a trade here on MU on this 949 candle. I believe I actually signaled at 948. Yeah, I signaled on this candle right here at 948. We got in these MU 160 calls. We got the break of 160. Contracts were really not moving at all. We came back down here, and I just really was not a fan of this wick. So I ended up getting out here on this 950 candle, and it was a good stop loss here because, as you can see, this following candle, we ended up dropping another, basically, what? From where we got out, it was right around 50 cents just on this next candle. So we ended up saving ourselves quite a bit of money here. And yeah, I mean, I'm really not upset with that. If I can get in a trade and minimize my risk here just by reading the price action and understanding, okay, with what we've seen so far, combined with the fact that we just wicked a pretty important level, we're probably not going to see this trade play out. And as you can see here, the entire rest of the day, we ended up not doing anything that we needed to. So yeah, I think we ended up saving ourselves quite a bit of money here and also quite a bit of time. So not the worst start to the week, not the greatest. Obviously, you want every day to be green, but that's just not the case. And that's not really how real trading works. So give me just a second here, and I'm going to pull up the calendar. You guys can see why I am a little bit more cautious this week than I typically would need to be. So if we look at the calendar here, you can see that we actually had no news today, but we do have FOMC on Wednesday. And FOMC obviously is always going to be very important for how the beginning of our week goes. And then after that, Powell speaks at 2:30 on Wednesday. So really just expecting chop from this week. That's going to be the main thing that's going to help out with pretty much everybody's trading week, is just expect chop, expect the worst. Obviously, hope for the best, expect the worst. And I just realized my face is blocking this entire thing. So you can see here FOMC at 2 on Wednesday and Powell speaking at 2:30. So that is really the main piece of news that I'm going to be focused on this week. And yeah, so honestly, up until Wednesday at 2:30, I'm expecting to see chop price action. I'm not really expecting any good follow through on any of these setups we're looking at. So the best place to put yourself on weeks like this is on the defense. So if you can be trading on the defense, that is going to be helping you out a ton. So what I mean by that, I mean taking only A+ setups. I say A+ setups. I really just mean good setups that you have planned out. And also not looking for too much on the targets, not letting it go too far as the stop loss goes. If you see some price action that you're just not comfortable with, it's a great time to just stop out and save yourself some money. So with that being said, tomorrow we have business inventories at 10, housing market index at 10. Everything before that is all pre-market news. So that is not really anything I'm going to be too worried about. I really only focus on the news that is happening while we're trading, because obviously all this pre-market news, yes, it is important. Yes, it's going to have some effect on the market, but we are not actively going to be in a position regardless at that point in time. So it's not as big of a deal for us. Give me 2 seconds here and I will be right back. Sorry, it sounds like I'm in Hell's Kitchen right now. So give me just a second. He probably does, Levon. He probably does. But no, that is the news for this week. And as far as our earnings go, we literally have nothing on my watch list. So that is fine. We do have a few IPOs coming out this week, though. StubHub, interesting. There's not going to be, most likely not going to be options contracts on these. So I'm not really too worried about that, but it is interesting just to keep an eye on if that is something that you like to trade. But anyways, let's see here. Moving on here to the actual main point of this lesson, which is the charting session here. We're going to go through my watch list A to Z, find what I like, find what I don't like, and assemble a watch list for tomorrow and possibly even the rest of the week, depending on when we see these setups play out. So if you've been here before, you already know what's up. If you're new, welcome in. And by the way, just a quick plug. If you go to that first link in the description, you can click on that and you can trade live with me every single day. So if you guys want to trade live with me and the team, go ahead and join that up. And I don't think that you'll regret it, but you know, even if you do and you want out, go ahead and get out and there's no strings attached. So anyways, first off, I didn't see anything on Apple there. Airbnb actually had a really nice sell-off today, and if this thing has contract volume, I have not traded Airbnb in a while, but this low of day from today actually looks pretty good. The main thing that I'm worried about here is, are we going to have contract volume? Because that's really going to be the biggest determination whether I'm going to be able to take a trade on this or not. Now, we do have easy room down here to about 119.45. Then after that, our next major support level that I would be looking at is at 118.15. So on a stock like Airbnb, that is more than enough room to have super solid returns on this. So I'm definitely going to mark Airbnb. I do like the setup. It's mainly just down to, are we going to have contract volume or not? AMD, it's coming up here, but it's coming up in probably the worst way possible, where basically every time we get a new high, every time we break a new resistance, we end up wicking and pulling back. So that is honestly just not price action I want to be a part of. So up until we can start having clean breaks with clean follow through without a massive pullback, I'm not going to be interested in that. Amazon, nothing there for me. ARM, we actually had some decent contract volume today, and this looks good. We're just going to need a probably above average amount of volume in order to actually see a move on this, because we can very easily reject right here at like 155.60, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did. But after that, we've got room to above 156, and then really all the way up here to 158.89. I do like ARM. Once again, gonna have to focus on the contract volume on that to see whether we're even going to be able to take that trade or not. And unfortunately, that's something we're gonna have to wait until market is open to see. So right now, AVGO is a little too far away from everything for my liking. In the future, though, I do like this up here at 374.28 or 25. I'm sorry. But I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's an all-time high. Pretty straightforward setup there. It's just a little too far away for my liking right now. BA, I think I'm all good on. I liked this Sunday night, but I'm not a huge fan right now. Let's see. Coin here. Doesn't look terrible. Still not really in the greatest area, in my opinion. I think I'll probably pass up on coin for now. And this watch list may end up being extremely short just due to the fact that not only are we not in the greatest area for everything as far as where we're at on the stocks, but once again, we do have to keep in mind that it is FOMC week. We do need to be on the defense. So it's not really the week that you want to be testing new things out, if that makes sense. I don't want to be testing with any of my setups this week. If there's subpar setups on subpar stocks, then, you know, it is what it is. Just pass it up. Just wait for next week. I mean, we have 220 trading days in a year, so missing out on a couple of weeks just playing it safe is, in my opinion, a lot better for you and your account in the long run than it is to try and take trades every single day when you know that your probabilities of seeing that play out is much lower. I do still really like CRWV. This stock looks really, really nice here at 124.90. We actually almost tested this pre-market today. And that was my main watch off open. We just happened to tank off open instead of pushing, which is what we needed to see. But CRWV still looks really, really good. Disney, I'm all good on that. Last few times I've traded Disney, it's been horrible price action. Google still making all-time highs once again, and I said this last night too. I really don't know how to feel about Google right now. I mean, anything that we're looking at, you're pretty much going to have to be looking at the after-hours high or the pre-market high, and eventually, this thing is not going to make these types of moves, right? It can't keep doing this forever. So the more that it has done this and is continuing to make new all-time high after new all-time high, the more it's sketching me out and making me not want to touch it. So I may put Google just on a side watch section here without even writing a full plan for it, just so I remember that that's something we need to look at in the morning. Because if we have a big enough pullback after hours and pre-market that doesn't seem like we're taking a super extended move on the larger time frames, I wouldn't mind looking at it. Just right now where we're at, there's nothing for me to even write down about it, because I wouldn't, let's say market's about to open right now, I would not be looking at this 253.10 high. It's just too extended on the larger time frames for me. Hood kind of in the middle of nowhere. Interactive, same story. INTC looks disgusting. Meta also just not in a great area. There's just nothing to really look at here on this. I mean, we've got above high of day from today, we've got pretty easy room up, but not really a clear good setup for entry. You know, if we come up, I may look at 774, but just how it looks right now, we've yet to see a candle close above this 768 level still. We've rejected off of it a few times. We wicked it today, and I would like to see a higher time frame candle close above that 768 level before I do really trust this. So Meta, I don't know that I'll write anything for, but once again, I'll put it on the side watch section. And anybody that's in here, I mean, even if we have some stuff that we are going to put in the side watch tonight without having a full idea about it, everybody that's in here, if you use that link and you do want to trade with us in the morning, there is a 3-day free trial link to this, so you can literally join for nothing and still trade with us and get the trade plans in the morning. So it's not the end of the world there. PLTR. Interesting. 171.99 does not look horrible on this. Notice how everything I'm saying it doesn't look horrible rather than it looks really good. I think CRWV is the only one that I've actually said it looks really good. PLTR looks like a possibility. It's all going to depend on the volume that we have at open, but it looks like a possibility for sure. I'll probably throw this in there. Yeah. It looks good enough to make the watch list. How about that? I'll put it that way. And after that, yeah, we've got pretty easy room on this up to 174. So that's solid. At the very least, you can have a solid risk to reward trade plan for this. So it's really the main thing we need. If Roblox had better contract volume, I would absolutely be looking at this, but the contract volume has just, I don't think I've seen a time where it is good. Reddit up here, almost making new all-time highs. This looks really good, actually. At 266.64. I do like that a lot. I'm gonna just clean up the chart a little bit here. All right, yeah, Reddit at 266.64 looks good. Let's see, do we have any trends on this that are going to help us as far as a target goes? Okay, so really no trends either, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because usually at all-time highs I'm targeting some type of trend, but also the fact that there is no trend means that we pretty much have as much room as the momentum wants to give us, so that's good. Shop contract volume was good today. Contracts are actually a decent price as well. They're not dirt cheap. Shop actually looks pretty good too. I would most likely be looking for 150 on this. I would expect to see some resistance here at 149.84, but I think we could probably see at least 150 crack, enough to get our sell off. So I do like this on shop. Okay. Nothing here, nothing there. T-Mobile, this needs to just come off the watch list. Tesla. All right, so really nothing new for Tesla. Nothing new for a few of these, because we just, we had our plans this morning and everything just went the exact opposite way. So it's no harm, no foul, but we are pretty far away from the Tesla idea right now. Do I think that it can get back? For sure, but I don't know how long it's going to take is the only thing. So, all right, I think that's actually what we've got for tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get to making the actual watch list here. Also, if anybody has anything they want me to check out, feel free to drop the stock and the level in the chat here, and I'm happy to take a look at it. But yeah, give me just a second. Airbnb is going to be the first thing here. Okay. Give me just a second. All right. Airbnb, after a nice sell-off to start the week, I'm looking at the low of day from Monday at 119.76 for entry. I have easy room on this down to 119.45. Then our next major support isn't until 118.15, which would be my final target for this setup. Also, if I'm moving too fast for anybody and you guys have any questions about the trade plans themselves, feel free to ask there as well. I feel like maybe I do move too fast for people sometimes and they just don't feel like asking. So if you're confused, I would much rather you ask than just pretend that you know what I'm saying. Looking at the 154.98 high of day from Monday for entry, targeting a move to our next resistance break at 156.25. Have you been trading ARM lately? No, I have not. Wall Street Sniper. I haven't traded ARM in a hot minute, actually. All right, ARM looking at the 154.98 high of day from Monday for entry. We may see some struggle at the 155.50 area. So if we see momentum slow down, I'll be looking to take profits here. But overall, I will be targeting a move to our next resistance break at 156.25. Next up, CRWV. I am just going to copy and paste this from this morning because literally nothing has changed. So looking at the 124.90 resistance for a breakout, targeting momentum above 125. Overall, we've got room on this to 130 and then 134. I actually think that when this breaks, I do think we're going to see a pretty ridiculous move. Now, obviously, may be wrong. So at the end of the day, regardless of what I have for my targets, you have to do what's the smartest for you and your position. And so a lot of the times when I'm making targets, this is something to aim for. This is something to keep a solid plan based around. But if you just don't have the momentum that you need in order to get to those targets, obviously the smartest thing to do is take your profits, right? If you get in the trade and you realize, okay, there's no way this thing is going to be able to move the way that I was expecting it to. It is what it is. Just, you have to stick to the plan that you originally made. You don't always have to hit your targets, but I do want to stress that, especially when I have big targets like this. What I mean by we have room on this to 130, then 134 is in between here and there really is nothing stopping us, right? There's nothing stopping us, but that doesn't mean that we have to make that move. So knowing that, technically, yes, we do have room to those levels. Does it mean that we're going to make it there for a fact? No. But if you read price action, if you know how to read price action, and you're reading price action and you can see, okay, clearly this thing is not going to be able to make this big of a move, do what's smartest for you when you have when you have a nice move and you're up nicely, and especially if you get in the trade and you have no drawdown when you get in that trade in the first place, just do what's smartest for you. Take your profits. You don't have to gamble at all. Trying to hold for a massive target that 9 times out of 10 might not get hit, right? Especially when they're big like this. That's why on the majority of my trade plans, I have super, super conservative targets, because I don't want to overshoot my expectations. I would rather set lower expectations and see a bigger result rather than set my expectations super high and then be disappointed regardless of what happens. That also leads to some greed being involved, and just not making smart decisions when you know that 90% of the time you should be making those smart decisions, and you do make those smart decisions. So yeah, I want to stress that, especially when I put this out there and I say that I'm looking for, or maybe not even looking for, but we have room to these levels. That doesn't mean we have to hit it. I would actually be very surprised if we saw a straight move to 134. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think we could see a pretty smooth and pretty easy move to at least 128 to 130. 134 is a bit of a stretch, but technically that is where we have room to. So just keep that in mind. Now, realistically, for me, I just know myself, I'm probably going to be looking to scale out of half at 128 and take the rest at 130. So that's just, in my head, that's probably what I'm going to do on this trade, unless we just see an absurd amount of momentum and volume that shows me that this thing is just not stopping. So yeah. Anyways, actually, MU, I don't think I'm going to be looking at MU now that I think about it. Yeah, I don't think this is ready yet. I'm taking that back off. Those blue lines are your targets. The blue lines are all of my key levels. So all of my supports, all of my resistances. I know what they are from me looking at them because I know where I place them. But if it's more helpful for you to color your lines, whether it's a resistance or a support or a target, you can do that as well. But I just keep them all the same color because it's just a little bit easier and a little bit faster. And when you're doing it every single day, you kind of remember where you put things and why you put them there. But yeah. Okay, Google and Meta, I said I was going to put on a side watch. So I'm just going to go way down here and go Google and Meta. No, it is not, Sniper. It is the it's one that you can find on the internet with a very, very simple quick search that a lot of people are getting ripped off for. PLTR, let's see. Looking at the 171.99 resistance for entry. Have easy room on this to 172.63. And after that, I will be looking at our next resistance at 174 for my final target. That's fine. Once again, if anything I'm writing down is confusing anybody or they feel like they need me to elaborate on anything, feel free to ask and I'm happy to go back and go over it. Reddit, looking at the 266.64 flat top / all-time high for a breakout. Overall targeting momentum on this setup, but we should be able to see the 270 break pretty easily as long as we have the right momentum, and that will be my final target. Boom. Moving on. Shop. Where did I say on this? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Shop, looking at the 148.79 resistance for entry. All right, shop, looking at the 148.79 resistance for entry. We have easy room up to 149.84, but with the right momentum, we should be able to see at least a quick break of 150, which is going to be my target for this setup. And then Tesla, I'm gonna come down here and just copy paste the same exact thing I had for today. And there we go. That is what I'm watching for this week. So let me go ahead and recolor these real quick. CRWV is upside, PLTR is upside, Reddit is upside, Shop is upside, and so is Tesla. Now let me go ahead and side watch right down here, and Google and Meta, I'm just gonna leave these without anything right now, and I'm going to color these purple right there, just so I know that those are ones I'm looking at but don't have a full plan on yet. So we actually got this finished up pretty quickly here. So first of all, I want to say, for anybody that's not in the floor, screenshot the watch list, use the watch list to your advantage. Obviously, we do this for a reason. This is going to be the same watch list I'm looking at tomorrow morning, as long as nothing changes overnight. So the amount of times that everybody that's just in here watching leaves a absurd amount of money on the table by not taking advantage of this is crazy. So screenshot that, plot the levels out, at the very least, go back and understand why I'm plotting these levels, where I'm plotting these levels, why I'm looking for what I'm looking for. And for anybody that's in the floor, watch list is about to get sent in the chat right now. And for anybody, once again, that is not in the floor and wants to be in the floor, click that first link below and use that free trial to your advantage. At the very least, if you hate listening to my voice and you're just not vibing with it, you can cancel at any time with no strings attached. All right, there we go. Watch list is in the Discord. But we do have about 15 minutes left here, so if you guys want to, we can turn this into a whole Q&A, and we can finish out the time here. So if anybody has any questions, anything trading related, feel free to ask. And if not, we can wrap it up, but I'll give you guys just a minute here to figure out what questions you have and what you want to ask. Sorry, I took that time there to give my dog a treat because he's being extremely good and extremely quiet right now. So, gotta let him know when he's doing good. All right, well, if we have no questions here, we can go ahead and wrap it up. But once again, I will give you guys just a second here. If you enjoy these streams, I never ask you guys to do this because I don't really think it has any effect on the stream itself. But if you guys enjoy these streams, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel because I do this every single Monday. So don't miss out. How many people are here from Threads right now? I feel like every time I post a link on Threads, it just does horribly and people don't even see it. All right, guys. If we've got no questions here, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I'll see you guys all first thing in the morning for pre-market review. Once again, if you're not in the floor, you want to try it out, click that first link in the description and sign up for that free trial because it's there, so you might as well use it. And yeah, any of you guys that are in here and you're joining from the stream, I would love for you to say what's up in the chat. And I will see you first thing in the morning. But let's, once again, be safe the rest of this week. And let's make some money. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Thanks for